I was born to live, live to ride, ride to live. I was born to ride. American built me, forever unite. And that's the deal. I was born to ride. Out of Tampa to Miami, Daytona, Tallahassee, from the East Coast to the West Side, here in Florida, we were born to ride. I was born to live, live to ride, ride to live. I was born to ride. American built, we forever unite. And that's the deal. I was born to ride.
Born to Ride is brought to you in part by 866 Law Friend. Ride safe, ride smart. Offices in Palm Harbor. Thanks for tuning in. On this week's episode, we're featuring the iconic American-made motorcycle brand, Indian, starting with an up-close look at a 1928 and a 1939 Indian hill climbing bike. Dale Wachsler of the Wheels Through Time Museum in Maggie Valley, North Carolina, starts these rare machines up and gives us all the details on these one-of-a-kind competition motorcycles. And then Dale brings out a beautiful 1940 Indian four-cylinder limited production bike that is in such great shape it looks like it could have been built just a few years ago instead of pre-World War II. And then we introduce you to the brand new 2014 Indian Chieftain. This is one of several models now offered by Indian Motorcycle, and they have spared nothing in style, convenience, power, and performance with this retro machine that has been enhanced by all the latest in technology. So stay tuned. We're bringing you over 80 years of Indian motorcycle history, and it's all coming up right now, right here, only on Born to Ride.
When do you crave refreshing iced tea? Twisted Tea wants to know. The next time you want that same satisfying refreshment, but with a kick, grab a Twisted Tea. Twisted Tea, the refreshing hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea with a kick.
Hey, this is Neil Larry from New York City, and we're down here in Daytona Beach, March for Bike Week, and you're watching Born to Ride TV.
Hey, Dale Walkser here from the Wheels Through Time Museum. Of course, we're here to talk about rare Indian hill climbers today. And of course, I could spend hours talking about these two motorcycles, but we only have a few minutes. These bikes are actually layered in history. 1928 Indian hill climber, 1939 Indian hill climber. What an incredibly rare bike this is. A611 Indian Altoona 61 cubic inch alcohol burning hill climber in completely original condition. Some great features. The Altoona side valve motor, certainly the front forks, hill climb style handlebars, 2 kill buttons, little reminder on the steering dampener to add fuel. And of course they used alcohol in these, so it really wasn't regular gasoline. The engine itself is a real piece of beauty. Ball bearing crankshaft, ball bearing cams, polished crank, polished flywheels, and the bike is absolutely purpose built for hill climbing. This chassis, the frame, certainly probably less than 6 or 8 of these ever built. Some of them had the 80 cubic inch motor. This one is 1,000 cc, therefore the serial number A611, alcohol, 61 cubic inch, serial number 1. You know, here's what we know about the history of this machine. It was sold new to Guy Urquhart in 1928. It was actually raced all the way to 1948. There's an interesting picture on the cover of the Motorcyclist magazine, 1948, of Floyd Emdy actually crashing this bike. Interestingly, there's actually 2 photos of the same crash from different angles, and of course Floyd was a Daytona road race winner in, I think, 1948 also. Took a little chance at hill climbing, crashed this motorcycle, and didn't tear it up too bad. You know, recently I had the opportunity to have this engine apart, and what a beautiful piece of work it is on the inside. Polished crankshaft, bronze cam cover, bronze intake manifold. Really one of the coolest things when I peel this motor down is the gear that drives the cam. It's called the pinion gear. Actually had Altoona stamped on it. The name Altoona came from the famous board track in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and this type of engine Jim Davis rode actually over 120 miles an hour on the 2-mile track in Altoona, Pennsylvania in the board track era. Subsequently, they dubbed the same hill climb motor the Altoona motor, or the Altoona hill climber. You know, a lot of folks that come to Wheels Through Time and look at the hill climb hill don't really understand what these bikes are. Of course, a short explanation, a few of the pictures always tell, but they always wonder about the chains. And of course, the chains on the rear of a hill climber made for digging that dirt, climbing those hills. And chains were used from the earliest days of hill climbing. They still use them today. You know, over the years, classes in hill climbing have changed, and of course, in the early days, the 1928 Guy Urquhart bike was a Class A bike. That means it was built by the factory and raced by a professional rider. Jumping fast forward to this motorcycle, which is a 1939 B Scout, that's the B-class hill climbing. It was a little less stringent than the A-class. Almost anybody could run Class B. Of course, to have a factory hill climbing bike such as this was quite a privilege. Only 18 of these bikes ever built. And this particular bike, raced out of Guy Urquhart's shop, also in San Diego, has an interesting history. Mouse Mulatech raced this motorcycle quite successfully for a very short period of time. I think he only ran for 2 seasons. And the bike is in incredibly great condition, which tells me one thing. Mouse was probably a great rider because he didn't flip this bike, tear it up, bend the handlebars, mash the back fender. I did notice one scratch on the back fender, but the bike is in incredible original condition. Original tires, 45 cubic inch Scout motors, serial numbered as a factory hill climber, and throughout this motorcycle is just as good as any hill climbing bike as I've ever seen. You know, FCI 18, that's this motorcycle, recently found its way to Wheels Through Time, and the previous owner is a good friend of mine, and he had actually taken this bike out on the Antique Motorcycle Club America circuit, had it judged to really prove its provenance. I think our friend Robin Markey, who's probably the premier, really the expert in Indian history, I think he gave this bike high marks, 98 points out of 100. And the bike's in original condition, so certainly not a restored bike, still received high marks, a real testimony to this motorcycle, which is really one of the best surviving hill climbers in America. You know, when I found the Guy Urquhart A611 bike, this helmet came with it, so did the box, and of course the box, incredibly rare. It's got Indian decals all over it, Guy Urquhart's little sticker, and what was in this box? Bits and pieces and spare parts and sprockets and carburetors and all the stuff you take to your track. Along with that came the trumpet, equally marked, Indian decals on it everywhere, and I can only assume this trumpet was actually used for announcing races at the hill climb. Another great story here at the Time Machine, 2 rare Indian hill climbers, both in original running condition, both of the same provenance, and it's really a pleasure to bring them to you. Hope you enjoy them.
Find us on Facebook, Born to Ride TV and magazine. For over 18 years, the ultimate multimedia biker experience.
It's the Inlet Harbor Restaurant Bike Week Trifecta. Inlet Harbor on beautiful Ponce Inlet under the historic lighthouse. This is a must-see marina with full inside and outside restaurant bar complex. Featuring live Big Engine Friday and Saturday, March 7th and 8th. And the hardest working man in rock and roll, backed by popular demand, Bobby Friss rocks the Inlet Harbor March 11th through the 15th. See the Christopher Columbus replica ships dock at the marina and open for your personal tour. Don't miss it, because once you've seen the Inlet Harbor, you'll come back again and again. The Inlet Harbor Restaurant Bike Week Trifecta.
If you're in the market for a motorcycle, I've got two guys that'll take care of you right here. Derek?
Let me tell you something. Come up here, see the family, because you will be part of our family, and you will enjoy it every month of every year.
That's Harley Davidson of Ocala, Ray?
Yep, Harley Davidson of Ocala, where you're treated like family every day, all day long, all year long. Come see us.
Hey, Derek, we can't forget about Warren at Crystal River.
You know what? That's our sister store over there. Been around 11 years now. There's been a tremendous turnout over in Crystal River as well, right there on US 19 in Homosassa.
We love Ray. Hi, Ray.
You know, Debbie, it's a great location. It's right on 19, right outside of Crystal River. You can't miss it. It's a beautiful store. Stop by and see us at Harley Davidson of Crystal River.
All right, two stores to serve you. Harley Davidson Ocala, Harley Davidson Crystal River. These guys got it all happening. Check them out.
Let them roll, baby. Let them roll. Let them roll.
Let them roll.
Do you get our monthly exclusive newsletter? Sign up at borntoride.com and get on our mailing list today.
Hey, Dale here from the Wheels for Time Museum, sitting on my old 1940 four-cylinder Indian. What a great bike it is, too. Had it for many years. Actually bought it at a really interesting auction in St. Louis, Missouri, the former E&M Motorcycles, Midwest Motorcycles. Well, the old guy decided to sell all his stuff, and it was a cold spring day in a great big field, piles of parts everywhere, and three old motorcycles, and this is the one I brought home. 1940 four-cylinder, one of the last years Indian made the four-cylinder motorcycle, and is in striking condition. Although the bike is basically restored, the engine's untouched. It seemed to be a good running motor, smokes a little bit when it warms up, huge amount of fun, starts easily, magneto ignition, and really enjoy this motorcycle. You know, when I found this bike, it was in unrestored condition, and didn't spend a huge amount of time restoring it. Did a nice paint job and redid the wheels, new old stock tires. But a couple of things I really liked about this motorcycle when I found it in its original shape was the original leather saddle, extremely cool horn. You gotta love the Crocker steering dampener. And I really like the magneto ignition because you don't need a hot battery to start this. Just put gas in it anytime. One choke, one kick, off you go. 3-speed transmission, great suspension system, front and rear. And of course the new balloon tires on this bike really make it glide down the road. And the four-cylinder bike in its heyday was the premium machine of choice. Indian quit building these bikes in 1942. But actually the interesting thing, from 1938 to 1942, they actually produced less than 1,000 of these machines per year. That puts it in a pretty special category, and of course the Indian 4, a favorite among collectors, a full-skirted Indian 4, 1940, 41, a few in 42, a lot of people's choice. Oh yeah, one more thing. Before I take this bike for a ride, what a cool exhaust system. Chrome and black porcelain, cool oil gauge in front, you can see your oil pressure's doing all the time. Many Indians were left-hand throttle, right-hand shift. This one's been civilized to right-hand throttle, left-hand shift. With all that being said, I'm going to go for a ride before it rains out.
know, it's always good to exercise these bikes, and one thing about Wheels Through Time, the museum that runs, these bikes are exercised regularly. I've ridden this bike, not a lot, but a little bit every year for the last 10, 15 years. Pretty good to get them out and go, limbers them up. The bike does use a little bit of oil, but so what? Most bikes use a little bit of oil. 1940 Indian 4, having a great time. I think I might go back and get something else and ride it.
Choice in American motorcycles is here. Introducing the all-new Indian Chief. Starting at $18,999.
Get your Indian motorcycle at Indian Motorcycles of Ocala. Saturday, March 29th, it's the Apopka Music and Bike Fest in Zellwood, Florida. Featuring the Michael Allman Band live in concert, also Full Circle and Hayfire. It's all emceed by Born to Ride's Russ Holiday. Born to Ride 10-class custom bike show, sponsored by attorney Fran Hosh, 866 Law Fran. Car show, vendors, great food, and more. Don't miss the great Apopka Bike Fest.
If you're in the market for a motorcycle, I've got two guys that'll take care of you right here. Derek?
Let me tell you something. Come up here, see the family, because you will be part of our family, and you will enjoy it every month of every year.
That's Harley Davidson of Ocala, Ray?
Yep, Harley Davidson of Ocala, where you're treated like family every day, all day long, all year long. Come see us.
Hey, Derek, we can't forget about Warren at Crystal River.
You know what? That's our sister store over there. Been around 11 years now. There's been a tremendous turnout over in Crystal River as well, right there on US 19 in Homosassa.
We love Ray. Hi, Ray.
You know, Debbie, it's a great location. It's right on 19, right outside of Crystal River. You can't miss it. It's a beautiful store. Stop by and see us at Harley Davidson of Crystal River.
All right, two stores to serve you. Harley Davidson Ocala, Harley Davidson Crystal River. These guys got it all happening. Check them out.
Let them roll, baby. Let them roll. Let them roll.
Let them roll.
Born to Ride magazine, the hottest, baddest, most popular magazine for the biker lifestyle. Hard-hitting, action-packed, up-to-date, real content, exclusive stories and interviews that always leave you wanting more. Local and national coverage that you can always count on. Born to Ride magazine can now be delivered directly to your door. Only $39.95 for 12 issues. Act now. Act now, and the first 100 orders receive free. The best of Born to Ride TV Volume 1 DVD. Order now. Order now. 888-795-5779 or check out BornToRide.com. Born to Ride. Don't miss Bike Nights, every night featured in the new Born to Ride magazine. A complete listing of Born to Ride's hottest bike nights for you to check out.
This month's issue features 3 beautiful babes inviting you to Dirty Harry's Pub on the front cover. And make sure you check out Born to Ride's Page 3 Girl in every issue of Born to Ride magazine. Pick up your free copy today. We were ecstatic when Indian Motorcycles Corporate Division graciously lent a brand new 2014 Indian Chieftain to Born to Ride TV and magazine for us to test and evaluate. And this beautiful, iconic motorcycle really opened our eyes and stirred our souls as we found out how outstanding an American-made, classically styled machine could really be. The Indian Chieftain proved to be the smoothest riding bike our executive producer Ron Galetti has ever rode through the curves. And even though the looks are pure retro, the modern technologies built into this American classic puts the new Indian into a class of its own. Born to Ride photographer Jim Miller was so impressed, he wanted to do the exclusive magazine shoot featured in Born to Ride magazine and to ring out a test ride on some of Florida's beautiful canopy roads.
The 2014 Indian Chieftain is a fantastic motorcycle. Smooth, got the rustic feel, but the modern technology. And so we brought it out to some old technology to provide a contrast, and this has been a fantastic shoot. I think we got some great shots. It is a beautiful machine. It brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. One of my favorites was the 1948 Indian, which was the year I was born. And this brings back those tremendous curves. It's just very flowing. To shoot it, to see it through the camera lens has been fantastic. There's no brutal angles to shoot. Everything is just a flowing, smooth, contoured surface, just like the ride. The motor is outstanding. It really is, again, new technology coupled with what the old Indian motors look like. Just been updated on the inside. It's a lovely machine.
And where are we off to next?
We're out for a ride in the country and test this thing out on the curves. I think it's going to do really well. It's got great power. Very smooth in the turns, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it handles on the twisties.
The 2014s are everything an Indian motorcycle was and ever should be. It's a sculpted, powerful cruiser built with the purest necessities of Indian style wrapped around the innovation of tomorrow. Powering this new generation of Indian motorcycles is the all-new Thunderstroke 111. This smooth, powerful, and efficient new engine combines both style and power, displaying the same finning and parallel pushrod tubes as seen on the earlier Chiefs of the 1940s. And the 2014 Indian Chieftain is in touch with its past, but far ahead of its time. It's the first Indian motorcycle ever with a hard fairing, hard saddlebags, and unprecedented new comfort and convenience features. It's like no Indian motorcycle ever seen before, yet its style makes clear it has the DNA of a legendary Indian motorcycle. Up front is an aerodynamic fork-mounted fairing with integrated driving lights and LED turn signals. The Chieftain houses extensive digital instrumentation, including tire pressure monitoring, and an audio system with high-output speakers. Raise and lower the power-adjustable windshield with a push of a button to customize airflow and your protection. Of course, the Indian Chieftain also features iconic Indian motorcycle elements, such as balanced fenders, a rich, genuine leather saddle. It also has extensive chrome, keyless ignition, ABS brakes, cruise control, throttle by wire, and an innovative cast aluminum frame with integrated air intakes.
Nice ride. It handles the twisties really, really smooth. This is a nice curvy road that we've got out here, and it handles beautifully. No wobble, no nothing. It's just smooth as silk.
What do you have to say to the manufacturer of this motorcycle?
I want one. Now.
choice in American motorcycles is here. Introducing the all-new Indian Chief. Starting at $18,999.
Get your Indian motorcycle at Indian Motorcycles of Ocala.
How close does a motorcycle have to be before you see it? Here or here? At an intersection, look, then look again. Think. Look twice for motorcyclists.
Hey, Jerry Motorman Palladino here for Born to Ride TV with my tip of the week.
Most people are riding, or a lot of people are riding two-up these days. What kind of tips can you give us about two-up riding?
Well, you know, for the passenger, you want to also use your head and eyes. If you see the rider turning his head and eyes in a certain direction, the passenger should do the exact same thing. That will keep the passenger from leaning the opposite way of the turn, which really screws up the rider or transfers weight to where you don't want it to be. And when making tight, low-speed maneuvers, the passenger should get up as close as possible to the rider so it moves the center of gravity right to the center of the motorcycle. Remember, all it takes to ride like a pro is a little practice.
Saturday, March 29th, it's the Apopka Music and Bike Fest in Zellwood, Florida. Featuring the Michael Allman Band live in concert, also Full Circle and Hayfire. It's all emceed by Born to Ride's Russ Holiday. Born to Ride 10-class custom bike show, sponsored by attorney Fran Hosh, 866-LAW-FRAN. Car show, vendors, great food, and more. Don't miss the great Apopka Bike Fest.
Now you can take Born to Ride everywhere and anywhere. The new Born to Ride mobile app is ready for you to download. There's more multimedia, more information, more Born to Ride like never before.
Everyone was right, I was born to ride.
Born to Ride is a multimedia marketing and promotional machine with TV, magazines, streaming radio, and internet advertising opportunities. There are tens of thousands of motorcycles. We reach the people who ride them. Born to Ride. Find out more at borntoride.com.
For all those people that are all smartened up talking Kiz, Arnie, and K-Fizz, Abe, and they know what's going on.
What you gonna do when Born to Ride runs wild on you, brother?
Hi, this is Ron Galletti from Born to Ride TV and Magazine. I just want to thank Corporate Indian for recognizing Born to Ride as a media source, and I want to thank them for providing me this beautiful Indian Chieftain 2014 to take for a test ride for a few weeks. And you know what? Usually when I go to work, I take the shortcut, but today, I think I'm going to take the long way.